weeks of cleans about to go down. I got my trusty PVC. It's going to be an exciting, jam-packed, full of information, 6 weeks, and we're going to learn how to properly take the bar from here to here so I can get you guys rocking and rolling on your cleans. Joke's on you guys, because this 6 weeks has already been out for a long time. Being that what we did with the snatch is very similar to what we're going to do with the clean. So guys are going to be taken through both power and squat cleans, and what do those look like? Power clean from the ground, receiving the bar in the power position, starting from the ground, receiving the bar in a full front squat. What this program needs to have, what you need to do. Yes, this is a threat, because that just seems to be something that I do these days, is threat. You're going to go through technique with PVCs and barbells and light barbells, but what you also need to be doing, and I got you guys, we're going to be doing some mobility alongside your technique work. So stay tuned. At the end of each video, you're going to be left with your mobility exercises that complement all of your technique work very nicely. Week 1, sorry, not sorry that it's boring. You guys have to learn how to properly move the bar from the ground up to its highest point before we jump and extend and start getting really dynamic with the bar. So week 1 is a 4-position clean deadlift. Now what I want to take from those words just right there is that I'm learning to do cleans, which means my setup should be like a clean setup. My hands go right outside my legs. I like to take my thumbs, scratch the outside of my legs, bam. I need to fix my shorts right here. I don't know why those keep rolling up. Bonus tip, this is a great time to start working on your hook grip, tucking those thumbs under your fingers so you can eventually lift more weight and feel more secure on the bar. My feet go right under my hips because that's my most powerful jumping position. And then my setup looks like so. My hips are low, my chest is tall, and my eyes are straight forward. The bar is pressed against my legs, and now I have leverage and some power to work with as I start moving the bar up my legs. 4-position clean deadlift does not need to be heavy. This is all learning how to move the bar up my body. If I do it correctly, this PVC is going to feel really, really heavy. The bar starts on the ground or in the middle of my shins in this case. The first push, and notice I said push off the ground, goes to the bar is hovering 1 inch off of the ground. I'm pushing the earth down. I start moving the bar up my shins, and this first 2-second pause is below my knees. After that 2-second pause, I keep pushing the ground away, and now I pause above my knees. Oh my gosh, I can feel a big hamstring burn right here. The third pause goes up to the middle of my quads. I still have leg drive right here. Literally, guys, my hamstrings are shaking right now. They're like if you zoom in on there, they're shaking. And then the final pause is at my high hang position with my shoulders at vertical, my knees bent and ready to jump. So that's where the 4 pauses are. What I really want to get focused on is that initial leg drive off the ground. This is where I see people get tripped up on all of their Olympic lifts. They're like, oh my gosh, the bar has to go from here somehow to get from here, and they're just like, let's grip and rip this thing. It's a jump. So I have to start by loading up my springs right here, my legs. That means I need tension, and I automatically just start pushing my body weight into the ground. The other thing that goes with our Olympic lifts is keeping the bar close. Watch when I push the ground away. My knees start getting out the way of that bar. Here's my first pause. There's my second pause. Notice I didn't do this. I didn't pull the bar around my knees. If I start off on a bad foot, I don't expect anything else to happen really, really pretty on the way up. 4-position clean deadlift doesn't need to be too fancy. It doesn't need to be too heavy, but you guys should get about 4 sets of 2 deadlifts. Look something like this. Eyes up, chest up. Drive 1 inch. Hold 1, 2. Drive to the top of my knee. Hold 1, 2. Keep driving to the middle of my quad. Hold 1, 2. Then on this last pause, I scoop my knees under. I peel my shoulders back to vertical where I feel like I'm ready to do the highest, strongest vertical jump, and that will come later. Side note, the other thing these deadlifts help you with is learning how to pull that bar in super, super close and tight to my legs, aka lat strength, which some of us might need to develop out there. So these pause deadlifts, yes, they're not fancy, they're not fun, but they are most definitely necessary for us to get our lifts going off on the right foot. Try 4 sets of 2 of those clean deadlifts, and then do your mobility. Here we go. Okay, thank you for sticking around for your mobility. On week 1, we're gonna jump right into a really big front rack stretch. And what I mean by front rack stretch is this position right here where I finish all my cleans, getting my elbows super tall, having them be able to wrap around the bar that tall is so important when it comes to receiving a clean. Now, we haven't talked about that in week 1. But it's a great time to get ahead of the game and just start dealing with these big muscles right there. When I talk about front rack positions, if you guys struggle to get your elbows tall and they get stuck under the bar, or the bar doesn't even like sit on your shoulders, let's start paying attention to this big rubber band right here. I'm gonna have a PVC, a soft surface like a soft box or a bench. I will also give you guys a scaled version of this stretch if we can't find the stretch on this one because it is a little bit fancy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get down on my knees in front of my soft box or bench. I'm going to supinate my hands or reverse my hands on the PVC. When I do this stretch, if I raise the PVC, which my elbows are going to go on the bench with the PVC raised like so, my elbows need to be more narrow than my hands. That's so when we front rack, I can get a strong external rotation on my shoulders and not the opposite, which is internal. So elbows closer than hands, elbows go on your box or bench. And then what I like to start thinking right away is kind of almost camelback this thing, and then I'm rounding my upper back to start getting a good stretch on those lats. The idea of this stretch is to punch your head through your shoulders and feel a big stretch right under your armpits right here, this big muscle group right here. This stretch doesn't need to be long. It does hang out there for about 3 sets of 10 to 20 seconds, and then that's plenty for the day. If you have issues with this stretch hurting your shoulder, I'll show you a more traditional front rack stretch over here. And here we are by the rig. Super easy, super simple, easy front rack stretch. We do it all the time in our classes just because when they're big, everybody can find a spot on the wall or the post and get into this stretch. You're going to take your elbow, put it up on the post, take your hand, reach right between your shoulder blades back there, and think about pressing your armpit towards the post, like so. Getting my elbow up, up, up above my head, so I'm stretching out my lats. You might feel it a little bit through your triceps if you have tight triceps. If you don't feel this stretch, you're probably arching at that back or losing your midline. Okay, so make sure you keep that tight. That is your mobility work for week 1. That is all the fun you're going to have on week 1. And we have 6 long weeks of this, so you guys are in for a lot of good work. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and you guys hang around each week, and you're going to get a nice little chicken nugget of wisdom to help you with your cleans. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.